Hello. So today I wanted to talk about Jenna Miscavige, her book called Beyond Belief, and Chapter 21, Security Checks. It's like once you get aware, once you become aware of the things that go on in Scientology, it's like on a base level, on a surface level, you know what's going on. But reading that chapter, boy, it got me so upset. The level of child abuse in Scientology, it is so unreal. I'm going to get the book. Hold on. I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. So, Jenna had done all this RPF and everything, and remember she had a crush on that boy, Martino. They're both 15 years old. She had been completely isolated away from her parents. And the level of isolation that they do with children, it is unreal. And another tactic of manipulation that they do is so there's already isolation. And then they will isolate almost like I say in layers. So they do it with parents and children. They do it with married couples. If they don't want them together, it's just so diabolical. It's just, it's a lot. And then so like they might isolate the person who's the victim of the abuse in one way. Like maybe they separate the child from their family. But in order to control even more, they might also isolate the child, I'm going to talk about Jenna, from her friends. Like, man, I tell you what, if I ever got a hold of that Mr. Rathburn, whom actually is a woman, because they do that in there, it's fucking ridiculous. If I ever got a hold of her, I would beat her ass for just alone what she did to Jenna. But so, back to the isolation. So, Jenna was already isolated away from her parents. She's told she is not allowed to talk to the children from the ranch because she's in a different group. I forgot what group because there's just like so many groups, it gets a little confusing. I believe she's back in the Sea Org or the Cadet Org, I forget. But she's not, because she's not in that little group, she's not in the group of the ranch group of her original friends, she's not allowed to talk to them. So this poor young girl, I get so fired up. This poor young girl, taken away from her parents. Now she's not allowed to she's not allowed to have friends. I mean, she's allowed to have some friends that are within the same organization that she's in. I think she's back in the Cadet Org. I forget. And now her and Martino are both in the same group. So it should be okay for her and him to see each other. It should be okay, according to Scientology rules. Hold on, I gotta get tea for this. So because there was a point in time where she started talking back to Martino because now it's allowed that they can talk. But like in the back of her mind, she's thinking, I should be allowed to see him, but I have this feeling because of Aunt Shelley. You know, Shelley Miscavige, this wonderful, great hero. Shelley Miscavige didn't want Jenna to see this Martino. And neither did this disgusting, filthy pig, Miss Rathburn. I'm going to call her Miss because she's a woman. Like I said, I'll beat her ass if she was around me. I would beat her ass. So then, Martino and Jenna, you know, just have a kiss. You know, just a basic, you know, teenager kiss. And then because Jenna's constantly being punished for everything, only because she has some free thought, and she's a teenager. She's not getting any love. She continually gets uprooted from the places where she feels any type of security or love. She finally starts to feel comfortable at the flag base because her grandmother's there. She's got a few family members there. She's kind of feeling comfortable, which this also ties into narcissism too. But, you know, I've said that before. And now I'm seeing the patterns. It's like the minute that somebody starts to feel happy or love or any kind of security, boom, they rip them right out of that environment. So Jenna Miscavige was getting a security check, which basically is an interrogation, again, for some bullshit reason. And this Miss Rathburn continues to, what an evil woman. She's just grilling Jenna, grilling her. You know, and a lot of times in the security checks, they want you to admit something wrong that you did, which she really didn't do. She hadn't done really anything wrong. I don't even remember why they called her in for it. Because she was following the rules as best she could. Mind you, she's 15. And then, in the back of her mind, it was nagging at her that she had kissed Martino, right? They should be allowed to see each other now. So it comes out in the security check. She tells us Miss Rathburn. And Miss Rathburn acts like, oh, you know, it's okay. You know, everything's fine. It's not a big deal. And this scum witch goes back and talks to Skelly Miscavige, and I don't know. And then there was they called her a CO. She had another CO. It's just so ridiculous. This other young girl who was a commanding officer just abusing the shit out of her. 15-year-old girl. And then, so Jenna's like thinking everything's fine, that she can see Martino. And then Jenna explains to Martino, you know, this is what happened in security check. I told Miss Rathburn that you and I kissed. And Miss Rathburn acted like it was okay. And then Martino was like, well, it should be a problem, you know, it should be a big deal. And then Jenna says in the book, where is it? Trying to find it. Well, anyways, she tells him all this stuff, and okay, here it is. She gave me a hug. That was Martino's mother, gave her a hug. And Martino grabbed my hand, smiled sadly, told me to hurry and get through this, and walked away. It was the last time I ever saw him. Oh, that just upsets me. The level of malevolence and evil that goes on in this organization. And then also Jenna had confessed that when she got her lib day, which is one of their days off, which they very rarely get. You know, all these workers that don't work, you know. She confessed also to getting her belly button pierced. Big deal, right? I think it was actually, she had just turned 16, so she was 15, and then boom, she turned 16. She got her belly button pierced. Hold on. So then she says, immediately Mr. Rathborn, which is Miss Rathburn, ordered that I be put under full-time watch and back into CMO EPF. I don't understand what CMO is, or the EPF. I really wish someone would explain all that. It's kind of similar to the RPF, but I guess the RPF is the worst. I'm just going to read it. She said, though I wasn't actually on EPF, I had to clean the bathrooms and stairwells endlessly just because she kissed the boy that she liked. Which you guys all know, if you know anything about narcissism, it had nothing to do with the kiss. Man, I'll beat a lot of people's asses up there for abusing this young girl. I had to clean the bathrooms and stairwells endlessly. The new head of our department had to stay with me. He would stand around in the stairwell of the bathrooms for several hours while I cleaned. Oh, I get mixed up because they mix all this he, she stuff. So she's calling her he, but then she goes, she was pulled from her duty and replaced. So must have been a woman. However, when word got out that she had warmed up to me, because, can't have love. What happened to Jenna? Man. And still nothing is done. This is going on to these children right now. She was pulled from her duty and replaced. However, when word got out that she had warmed up to me and was even telling me Harry Potter stories to help pass the time. So the little bit of love and kindness that Jenna was getting, they were going to make, I'm going to try not to swear too much, but they were going to make blankety blank sure that Jenna had effing nobody. 15-year-old girl. So a lot of the people out there that are abusing the children, they need to be pulled out by their ear and have a good ass whipping. And some of them deserve to be in jail. Some of them, not all of them. It's just, whew. Oh, they didn't punish her enough. That's just starting. So she goes on to explain that she had about 80, like within a short period of time, like maybe 2 or 3 years, 80 sec checks, which are all interrogations. That's abuse. The abuse is just, There was a point in time, let me see. Hold on, guys. I'm just kind of... Okay, and then she says, this is Jenna talking about how she feels. Different as my reaction was this time, something still bothered me about my punishment. Oh, she was saying that she didn't feel as much as she had when she was punished the first time with her Aunt Shelley for something else. Different as my reaction was this time, something still bothered me about my punishment. I wasn't sure what I'd done to deserve it. Sure, I'd been hiding things with Martino, but again, it was a situation where the punishment didn't fit the crime. Hello? I hadn't broken a Scientology law. All I did was go against what Aunt Shelley and Mr. Rathborn, which is a miss actually, devil, had said. I honestly had no idea why I was punished to this degree. Yes, I'd been with Martino, and yes, I got my belly button pierced. But those weren't against policy. Sometimes I slacked off a few times when I should have been working. Big deal, you're 15. Or, turn 16. But no more so than anyone else. They're not allowed to have a childhood at all. Not allowed to see boys. Not allowed to kiss a boy. Other offenders didn't have RTC waiting to sec check them anytime they looked sideways. Why was this the case for me? Yeah. Why were all these people abusing you and nobody was sticking up for you? I don't know if you guys ever remember that funny little song that I know it's on YouTube somewhere. I'm about to kick somebody's ass. That's how I feel right now. Okay, this is another one. She goes on to say, when I wasn't cleaning, I was going through grueling security checks with Miss... I'm going to call her Miss. She's devil. Miss Rathburn. They were laden with questions tailor-made just for me. Have you used your name inappropriately to get your way? Do you have an evil intention against your uncle? Security checks were the church's ultimate control mechanism, and the sessions were all videotaped. Yeah, videotaped, you know. Hello, FBI. That's unreal. It just really upset me. Okay, I'm just going to kind of sum up the rest of it. I think you guys should read this book. It's well done. So in the end, she wasn't allowed to have anyone, wasn't allowed love, wasn't allowed any comfort. First, she's taken away from her parents, and her parents weren't even like living with her, but she at least had access to them every so often, once in a while. And maybe they didn't see each other, but there was some kind of support. First, she's moved to Flag, you know, dropped out of nowhere at 13 with no support, no protection, really. And then by the time she's 16 and she's gone through RPF a few times, she continually is getting sec checked, which is interrogations, just like the FBI and the police officers do. Hello? She goes through all this. She likes Martino. She's not allowed to be with him. They separate them. She never saw him again. Now, that's not enough, guys. That's why this just makes me want... I'm laughing, but it's like a sinister laugh, because that wasn't enough to hurt her. Now, they are going to take her away from Flag, where she's grown to love. She has a few cousins there. I think they're public Scientologists. She has her grandmother there, whom I think is a public Scientologist. They didn't hurt her enough. They got it, and she didn't even do anything wrong. So this is pure narcissistic, it kind of goes beyond narcissism. It's just, let's hurt somebody just to hurt them. Let's hurt them. So now they tell her she can't stay at Flag anymore. So her little boyfriend that she had, he's taken away. She's not allowed to be friends with the children at the ranch, whom she knew from a young girl. Not allowed to be friends with them. Now they're going to take her away from Flag, away from her grandmother, away from her cousins, and some other family members that she could get some support from. It just, woo! And in the end, okay, so I'm going to read this. So this guy Tom was kind of her guardian, but he really wasn't in the picture very much. But he kind of was nice, he wasn't a pedo or anything like that. I'm going to read the last paragraph. So, okay, no, I'm going to read two of them. So she was talking with this devil evil woman, Rathburn, and her CO, who probably was a buck 17 or 18, and real nasty evil woman herself. And she says, "Am I coming back?" I pleaded. "Do I get to say goodbye to my grandmother?" I didn't dare even mention saying goodbye to my friends, and I definitely knew better than to ask about Martino. "We'll say goodbye for you," piped in my CO from behind her. Wish we had her name. "Okay," I said, stunned. I thought I would probably be back in a few days, so I took solace in that. Abruptly, the two of them came into my room, because they give you no privacy, and helped me shove everything I owned into some bags. I told them that I didn't need to bring everything, but they said I should, just in case. I didn't know what that meant, but it scared me. They hugged me as if we had always been great friends and said goodbye. Tom took me to the airport. I asked him to say goodbye to Martino for me, and he promised that he would. Sick. Okay, guys, I hope that you enjoyed that. Highly recommend getting her book. I got it from Thrift Books. I should be finished soon. I may read some of the chapters one of these days. Okay, everyone, have a good day, and protect the children, and take care of business with the people who hurt them. Peace.